This episode brought to you by TAUMMHOMS, which is a natural sleep and sound healing portal helping people globally to get to sleep faster and stay asleep longer through TAUMMHOMS.com. That's www.TAUMMHOMS.com.
It's My Right Stuff with your host, Grammy Award-winning record producer and inventor, Toby Wright. My Right Stuff is brought to you by TAUMMHOMS, a natural sleep and sound healing portal available globally at www.TAUMMHOMS.com. That's www.TAUMMHOMS.com. And I'm your announcer, Grinnin' Barrett. Here's Toby.
Hey, I'm Lord Toby Wright, and this is My Right Stuff News. And welcome to the My Right Stuff News. Let's kick it off with the music news. Well, Tool drummer Danny Carey has been arrested for misdemeanor assault after allegedly getting into an altercation at the Kansas City International Airport on Sunday around 7 o'clock. Well, law enforcement at the airport received a report of a disturbance between two males at an airport terminal. Carey was arrested for misdemeanor assault and transported to a nearby Kansas City Police Department. Well, James Brown's estate has sold for $90 million. The deal includes the late singer's publishing, master income stream, and name and likeness rights. The estate has been sold to publishing and management company Primary Wave. The Foo Fighters had to call off their concert at the Formula One race in Abu Dhabi last weekend due to unforeseen medical circumstances. Event organizers said on Sunday. The Emirati state-linked newspaper, The National, quoted concert promoter John Licorice as saying that a member of the band was rushed to a hospital from an airport in Chicago, where the band stopped on its way to Abu Dhabi. He didn't elaborate on what happened, but said band managers had called him to cancel. Oh, God, I hope he's okay. That doesn't sound good. Bruce Springsteen has sold the masters of his entire catalog to Sony Music and the coinciding music publishing rights to Sony Music Publishing in a combined deal of around $500 million. Springsteen's catalog includes over 300 songs, 20 studio albums, 23 live LPs, 7 EPs, and more. For his entire 50-year-long career, Springsteen has released his albums through Sony imprint Columbia Records. He was granted ownership of his earlier records in the late 1980s and 90s as an incentive to re-sign with the label. Well, last month, Springsteen was in negotiations with Sony to sell his album catalog while he also simultaneously shopped around his publishing catalog, which was under Universal Music Publishing. Well, over to film and TV. Well, The Witcher brought loads of hype when it first premiered on Netflix in 2019. The show explores the adventures of Geralt of Rivia, the brooding monster-fighting hero at the center of the franchise. Many were already calling this Netflix's answer to Game of Thrones. Season 2 attempts to up the fantasy stakes by focusing on some of the bigger, more existential questions about the Witcher universe. Season 2 starts today. Well, set in the near future, Mother Android follows Georgia and her boyfriend Sam through their treacherous journey of escape as their country is caught in an unexpected war with artificial intelligence. Days away from the arrival of their first child, they must face no man's land, a stronghold of the android uprising in hopes of reaching safety before giving birth. And that's on Hulu today. Well, for the first time in cinematic history of Spider-Man, our friendly neighborhood hero is unmasked and no longer able to separate his normal life from the high stakes of being a superhero. When he asks for help from Dr. Strange, the stakes become even more dangerous, forcing him to discover what it truly means to be Spider-Man. Spider-Man: No Way Home, Check it out today. The Tender Bar tells the story of JR, a fatherless boy growing up in the glow of a bar where the bartender, his Uncle Charlie, played by Ben Affleck, is the sharpest and most colorful of an assortment of quirky and demonstrative father figures. As the boy's determined mother struggles to provide her son with opportunities denied to her and leave the dilapidated home of her outrageous, if begrudgingly supportive father, played by Christopher Lloyd. JR begins to gamely, if not always gracefully, pursue his romantic and professional dreams, with one foot persistently placed in Uncle Charlie's bar. Well, now on over to sports. In F1 this past weekend in Abu Dhabi, the World Championship was decided in the final race of the season. What was the most exciting lap in F1 history, Max Verstappen pulled out the victory over Lewis Hamilton to win his first championship. Toto Wolff, Mercedes race principal, whined and cried and tried to get the results changed, but no luck. This was also Kimi Räikkönen's last race as an F1 driver. Some amazing Kimi stats: 349 races, 21 wins, 103 podiums, and 1 world championship over 19 seasons. He also had his problems with his water bottle approximately 20 times. Thank you for being a fantastic representative for the sport, Kimi. The team will now leave you alone. Well, in the world of tech and gear, Mojo Vision is on the cutting edge of technology with their Mojo lenses. Mojo Lens's revolutionary design uses a tiny micro LED display the size of a grain of sand to share critical information, and smart sensors powered by solid-state batteries built into a corneal lens that also corrects your vision. Many augmented reality solutions try to create immersive experiences that can clutter reality. Mojo Lens is different. It quietly provides you with crucial data while you're engaged in events that demand your attention. This is all done without holding a device or looking down at a screen. With its invisible wearable display, Mojo Lens helps you keep your concentration by providing information heads up and hands-free. Man, I could use that for this show, for sure. Well, Mojo Vision can be found here. Well, Ken Block is an Audi man these days. The professional rally driver will help the division develop its electric cars. And he's heading back to Gymkhana with a fresh set of wheels. Not just any set of wheels, but a purpose-built electric drift car that looks positively delightful. The S1 Hunatron. This car came to life very quickly with a timeline of 4 weeks from the initial drawing to assembly-ready final design. Audi Sport and the design team worked side by side with Block to make the Hunatron a reality. Audi and Block plan a new chapter for the iconic Gymkhana series under the working title of Electricana. It'll feature the star drifter tackling wild courses, stunts, and big drifts once again. And it's unclear if Travis Pastrana and Subaru will still do their own thing with another Gymkhana or join him. And I have to say, good job, everyone. This looks really sick. And that's all the news making the news this week, December 17th. Well, here at My Right Stuff News, we wish you continued happy holidays. Now back over to you, Toby. Hey, and welcome back to My Right Stuff, which is a film, TV, sports, music, adventure, and inspirational lifestyle podcast. I'm your host, Lord Toby Wright, and my co-host today is Mr. Gareth Dyton, a.k.a. DJ Chunky, from Chunky's Choice Cuts, all the way from Wales. Hey, Gareth, what's happening today?
Hey, my friend, pretty good. Hope things are pretty good with you.
Oh, things are fantastic here. It's not a sunny
Awesome.
Day. It's cloudy.
Yeah. That makes a change.
Really?
Well,
It's a big change.
actually, sort of welcome to Wales.
Right. This is Wales East or West?
East.
One of the two.
I had to think about that. East, I think.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Anyway. Well, Gareth, today we have a very special guest. His name is Rhys Bowler. He's a motivational speaker and a musician who's totally inspired by heavy metal music and has a self-made documentary about disability and his life as a motivational speaker. Well, as you will learn, he has DMD, which is Duchenne's muscular dystrophy, and his story is quite inspiring. But first,
Awesome.
I want to thank you, all of our supporters who stream, download, watch, and support My Right Stuff. Keep spreading the word, my friends. I really do appreciate it. Be sure to click on our show notes below and follow our link tree for a full list of all the channels we are streaming on, as well as all of our sites and social media platforms. Also, if you're able, please follow our support link to donate to My Right Stuff. Every single dollar helps support My Right Stuff crew who make all of this possible. And of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as the podcast channel of your choice so you never miss a single episode. Please head on over to myrightstuff.com, go to the store tab, and pick up some snazzy merch for those bodies. Well, Gareth, let's get this party started. I'm excited to introduce you to a very inspiring and motivated man. Let's have a nice, warm My Right Stuff welcome for Mr. Rhys Bowler. Hi there, Rhys. How are you?
Hi, Toby. Thank you very much.
Hey, Rhys.
All right. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, my pleasure, my friend. Well, Rhys, one of the first things I noticed is your physical condition. You have Duchenne's muscular dystrophy. For the sake of our audience, and so we can learn more about it, can you please tell us what this is exactly?
So muscular dystrophy is a muscle wasting condition, and I'm basically reliant on technology, such as ventilators and obviously my wheelchair, to assist with everything in my life, basically. So because of the muscle wastage, I'm reliant on this ventilator, which assists my muscles to breathe. So I can physically breathe myself, but my ventilator just assists with that.
Right.
And so muscular dystrophy means I can't move my body. I drive my chair with my thumb, as you can see.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And yeah, but basically I've learned to live like this. And to be honest, my condition has never stopped me.
So
excellent.
What help do you kind of need on sort of a daily basis?
So basically, with my condition, obviously I can't do anything for myself. Mm-hmm. So I have a care team of 4 care staff.
Right.
Which basically do everything for me. Right. For example, they dress me in the mornings, and they assist me with the shower, they assist me to eat, and help me live my daily life, basically.
Understood. So how easy is it to get the help you require?
Basically, I am reliant on money that's provided to me by my local authority. So they give me the money directly. Then that allows me to pay my own care staff and basically live my life the way I want it. Right?
Mm-hmm. So how sort of essential is it actually to have sort of really good caregivers?
But really, a carer, right, isn't just... a care can just be a carer, but to me, it's all about having someone in your life who understands you, who knows what's best for you, and does assist you in a daily life. I mean, for example, I couldn't have someone who I didn't like or didn't know me caring for me. Just if you think about it, this person is with me all the time. Yeah. So, it means you have to have an understanding and a bond with that person,
Yeah, totally.
Uh-huh. And have you ever had any issues with caregivers?
Can you say that again?
Have you ever had any issues with the caregivers?
Well, actually, yeah. I mean, when it comes to employing strangers, obviously, there's dangers to that, isn't it? You have to make sure that you're correct and checked properly, and stuff like that. So, I had incidents where some carers have stolen from me, and certain things like that. I mean, it's all about trust, right?
Right.
And you've got to be careful with these people you let in your home.
Yeah.
And this is why I say you need such a strong bond with the care team,
Yeah.
Right. I get it.
I suppose, yeah, I get it as well. And I guess having a good team around you on a daily basis must then have a massive impact upon your condition, but also your quality of life as well.
Yeah. Well, a care team to me has become like a family to me,
Yeah.
And these are people who want what's best for me.
Yeah.
So, for example, when I go and I do a motivational speaking gig, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So these people are with me to represent me, and
Yeah.
I must say, they do the job extremely well because they want what's in my best interests.
Right. I see. And have you ever had any struggles with the system?
The system, well, so the system is rather complicated.
I actually think that says
In
it
the
all, really,
sense of,
Toby.
right, so here in the UK, obviously, I think Wales in particular, so you can either have your care funded by the NHS, or you can have the care funded by social services.
Okay.
So currently, what's going on is I am running my own campaign because the NHS isn't willing here in Wales to give you the money directly. So whereas in England and Scotland, say for example, the NHS will give you the money directly to pay your own carers.
Right.
Now, currently where I am struggling is I need 24-hour care, and the social services are prepared to give me the money directly as they do it. But at present, in Wales, it's illegal for the NHS to give me the money directly.
Right.
So at the moment, I'm trying to get my government to change NHS protocol here in Wales to give me the money directly.
Yeah.
So that I can pay my staff a fair wage. I can pay them holidays. I can pay them sickness. I mean, at the moment, I'm kind of, when I'm running the risk, really, because all my staff are currently self-employed.
Right.
So, which means I can only pay them what they work. I can't pay them sickness. I can't offer job security.
Yeah.
And that's what I like the NHS money to give me. If the NHS would give me this money, it would allow me to treat my staff as they deserve to be treated,
Yeah.
Right.
So I suppose the next question I was going to ask was, how much control do you have over actually the care you receive?
But at the moment, the funding I get is, so I get £5 a month, right?
Yeah.
Now, it may seem like a lot of money. It is in fact a lot of money.
Yeah, actually, care's
But
expensive.
when you think about it, when you take the hours they work out, and then you take sickness and holidays onto that, there doesn't leave me with very many care hours.
Right.
And this is the argument. My shortfall is roughly £2,000. So, and to me, it's all about respect.
Yeah.
Right.
I want to pay my carers what they are worth,
Understood.
Yeah, and that's
So-
actually a very admirable stance to take, really.
Right. So we've just been through a year and a half of global pandemic and a lockdown. How did that affect you and your caregivers coming to see you?
Well, right, although the lockdown has been pretty negative, like for me, I can take lots of positives of this. But to me, because of lack of care funding, I've effectively been in lockdown the majority of my adult life.
Right.
And to me, this pandemic has brought understanding as to what that is like. Because
Okay.
people now know how I felt for 20 years almost.
Right.
So they know what it's like to be stuck in the house. They know what it's like to have their liberties taken away from them,
Yeah.
Right.
And also, lockdown, to me, has presented so many opportunities. Like, during lockdown, I started an isolation diary. Now, from that, television came calling.
Right.
So, because of that, I now have a documentary. All these opportunities are now coming in my direction. So, I can see positives in this massive negative of the coronavirus.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, that's awesome, really, that you've been able to turn that around and kind of get to make something positive out of it. Really.
Right.
I suppose the question I've got to ask is, has it affected the actual way you manage your caregivers, and kind of what steps have you had to take to manage their safety?
Yeah,
around that?
obviously, lockdown has had massive effect on my mental health personally, because 2.5 years, practically 2 years it's been there, hasn't it? And it's a long time to be stuck into all these things taken away. for me. Because initially, you see, before lockdown, this is where I started my motivational speaking journey. So I had a lot of work prior to lockdown.
Yeah.
And then obviously, before I was due to do this work, the pandemic hit and everything was taken away from me.
Right.
And obviously that was a massive blow to deal with. And I had to start all over again. And obviously when you're on your own, your mind starts to wander. I mean, me particularly, I've always lived here on my own.
Yeah.
So I don't have a partner or whatever, so to me it was all me and my own mind, like.
Yeah.
And we all have to find ways of dealing with it.
Right.
So that's particularly what I found difficult, like.
Got it. So what steps have you had to take to manage the safety, your safety and the safety of the caregivers?
Well, basically, you do it as wisely as they say, don't you? You make sure your hands are washed. You wear your masks and everything like that. And to be honest, I have been completely safe.
Yeah.
So you don't take massive risks. You make sure that everything is done safely.
Yeah.
And what they say, see, the thing is with me, because I wear a ventilator, I am more danger to my staff than my staff are to me. So basically all we done was make sure the PPE was correct. And like you said, they washed their hands and things like that. And I'll be honest, I've been very careful and I haven't been terrified, but I've done it cleverly and respectfully,
Yeah.
And
thank
God I haven't taught the virus it.
Interesting.
That's really interesting.
I like it.
So, to actually move on from COVID, I understand a few years ago you sadly lost your younger brother. Please accept our deepest condolences for your loss.
Yes.
And
yes.
Are you okay if we ask you a couple of questions about that?
Yeah, of course.
Obviously, losing a younger brother, obviously, it must have had a massive impact upon you. Can you explain a little bit how that kind of motivated you?
Well, there are things like, so I think this is the main reason why the pandemic wasn't so difficult for me, right? So like, losing my brother was, to me, the defining moment in my life.
Yeah,
he was the one person who understood my situation exactly. So he was essentially my version of a wife and children.
Okay.
And firstly, the question, I ask myself, and I teach also with my motivation speaking is, when something like that happens in your life, what do you do? What do you do next? And to me, initially when he died, first 2 years, well, obviously it was terrible,
Sure.
He was always there for me, and all of a sudden, he wasn't there. And then, obviously, the emotional side is difficult. The aspect of the mental health is. And also, when a life-threatening condition like mine is, you actually have to face your mortality.
Yes.
And that can be actually quite a challenge when it initially happens.
Right.
But after the first 2 years, I thought, right, my brother wouldn't want me sitting here being upset. And that's when I decided to start motivational speaking, to speak to kids in my situation, to be their big brother, to be there for them, and the questions that, me and my brother always discussed, like, obviously sex and disability is a massive issue, obviously death is another thing that people don't like to talk about,
Right.
And we always discussed that together, and we were fine about where I was going. It's just like I said, is when it happens, how do you deal with it?
Right.
So, I've had my bad times, but, him dying made me realize, how precious life is for him. And it also gave me a purpose in the sense of I wanted to be there for others like me.
Right.
It's very admirable. Very admirable.
That's very admirable. And so what issues are relevant to you that you want to share with others who have your condition. And everyone else in the world as well. Like, it doesn't have to be limited to that, for sure.
No, not at all.
But this is the thing, for example, the one thing I would constantly ask about is, obviously, like you said, sex and disability. Now, this is something that parents come to me and say, look, Jimmy, you don't want your child to die a virgin or whatever, and then this is where the question comes, as parents are generally running. And also, the children came to me as well and say, how do I do it? Is this ever going to happen to me? What part of my mission is, I want to let them know that these things are possible. That you can have relationships, you can potentially have children, you can live independently.
Yeah.
Right.
And all these things, to me, right, initially I thought, I'm never going to do it. I'm never going to have sex, I never have a relationship, I can never live on my own. But, I proved myself wrong.
Yeah.
And this is all what I want to show to the other people, that you can do it.
That's awesome.
Excellent.
That's very good indeed.
Yeah, no kidding.
So, how basically have actually the sessions been sort of going for you?
Well, we're in this situation. That, to me, I always thought, and my statement is, disability is a unique opportunity to experiment and be creative, isn't it? And we can't do certain things. And when you find out that you can have sex, firstly, that's mind-blowing, just to think, oh my God, I never thought I could do this. And, for example, if you give a woman an orgasm, right? You always think, oh my God, I never thought I could do that. And when that happens to you, it blows your mind, just to think,
of course it is.
Oh my God, I never imagined I could do this. And obviously confidence goes into that. And I met some pretty interesting women in my life. And these are things, when I was 15, I never thought I could ever be able to achieve.
Right.
I always thought they were to achieve everything.
Right. That's pretty awesome. And it's very important to have all those experiences as well.
No, totally.
Because, it's just part of human nature.
You can just have a lot of trouble. I've been in some messy situations. So I met sex workers. I've had relationships with them. My first relationship was a polyamorous relationship. So my partner also had partners herself. And so did I.
Right.
And you know what? That was a lot of fun. I would recommend that to everyone, but for the person in my situation, when you think life is short, you've got to experience all the life's delicacies as you possibly can. I mean, you've got to have these experiences.
Right.
They're fast by young, maybe,
Yeah.
Yep.
Totally.
So, in your motivational speaking, how big have your audience has been, and how many people have you performed for?
Yeah, I have. Say that again.
I was asking, in your motivational speaking performances, how big of your audience has been, and that kind of thing.
The first speech I did, it was in front of 80 people.
Oh.
And I'll be honest, I was terrified.
Yeah. Right.
I thought, oh my God, I really was shitting myself, to be honest. But it's almost like, since you memorize the speech, and you know what you're saying, the minute the first line comes out of your mouth, then it's fine. You're on the wrong line.
You're on that track then.
And I did extremely well the first speech I did. And obviously the pandemic came about then, so it stopped me in my tracks.
Yeah.
But I would like to do speeches in front of a larger audience, because I'm surprised how interested the people were to listen to what I had to say.
Got it.
When you actually perform your sort of speeches, Do you actually need any like sort of special equipment to speak?
Well, basically, the things I talk about mostly are good. So the first speech I did was a business speech.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, it wasn't very related to what I wanted to talk about, but I saw that as my foot in the door.
Yeah.
Like. But now the pandemic is over, the speeches I would like to address is good. My main point section disability, obviously independence, that's the last thing to talk about, and also raising awareness that disabled people are good, we're the same as everyone else, you know? The majority of us are quite clever, really intelligent, you know? We could do the same things and have the same emotions as everyone else, like.
Totally,
so,
Right.
so I'm really keen to preach that to the world.
Yeah, totally.
Understood. So I was wondering what kind of tools do you use for with when you do your motivational speaking? Do you use like a PowerPoint type thing? Do you use
Right. Well, at the moment, I am really set in maybe sort of presentations and that, right? So when I do a speech, I go through a process.
Okay.
So initially, I write the speech
Right.
to myself, like at home. I memorize it, and so I find with tools like PowerPoint and that, it can complicate it. You know, I want the people be looking at me and listening to what I have to say, rather than going back and forth. But my technique, I think, needs some work, because you can't memorize an hour and a half speech. That's impossible to do.
Totally.
Right.
So what I've been doing recently is using my laptop and writing some notes down. Because the worst thing you want to happen is you stand in front of 100 people and you forget what you say.
Totally.
Right.
Obviously that can be a nightmare. And you begin to panic then, don't you?
Oh, totally.
So since my last speech, I've decided I use my laptop and just look at notes now and then. But I'd rather people just look at me and maybe not at the PowerPoint presentation.
Totally. That makes total sense. So actually, sort of alongside your like kind of motivational speaking, you've actually been looking at kind of social inclusion within the world of kind of heavy metal. So how long have you been a fan of heavy metal?
Did we lose his mic feed?
Hello, have we lost him? Rhys, you still there?
Oh yeah, his microphone went off. Hold on a second.
Yeah, I answer.
Okay, Rhys, we're back. Sorry about that.
I was there again.
So, yes.
Just put the microphone closer to your mouth.
Okay, no worries. Obviously, as well as doing like kind of motivational speaking, you've basically been looking at the role of kind of social inclusion within the kind of heavy metal community. So how long have you been a fan of metal?
Yeah, basically, so just when my brother died, I decided to firstly, before I did motivational speaking, right, I decided to start a metal band of my own, right? The metal has always meant a lot to me, right? This is something that me and my brother always sort of loved. So we always went to festivals when we could. Yeah, it was something we enjoyed very much in our pastime. Yeah. So obviously you get lonely, and I thought, well,
sure,
I'd like to meet some other people who felt the same as me. So I put an advert out on Craigslist. Yeah.
Okay.
And just saying, look, I like metal. I don't think I'm much of a singer, but I like to have a go. Like, so, would you like to help me enjoy the metal band? Yeah. So I started that band, and we're still together now. And that is something I'm very proud of, you know, because metal to me has always been close to my heart.
Yeah. Right.
And And, I've always saw the metal community as a family, and this is what I wanted for myself. Like, so I started this band, and they basically became my family, And we haven't gigged yet, but obviously lockdown stopped us doing that. But we are fully intended to start writing other material at some point.
Awesome.
That's
So,
very good.
what instrument do you play?
So basically, we are called Twisted Sky.
Right.
Okay.
Right? We're all disabled bands.
Yeah.
I mean, we do have some able-bodied members. Obviously, when it comes to playing guitar, you need to have your hands or whatever.
Right.
But, we kind of all-inclusive, and we just want to show the world that metal's for everyone, and we can perform just as good as everyone else. And that's what I wanted to prove, right, when I started it. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. I like it. I'd love
like
to hear
that
some of
very
your
much.
material
Yeah, I'd like
for
to hear
sure. So, what bands are your favorites?
Right, well, basically, this is partly where I got in touch with you, Toby, because you've produced some amazing albums, right, that has had an influence on my life, right?
Right.
We'll say, so like Cold, like Fall of the Leader, to me, I was a teenage boy growing up, and, that mentality of Cold, sort of like, you feel outcast into the as a teenager, and, that album really struck a chord with me, especially Freak on the Leash,
Right. Okay.
And, and they are one of my favorite bands.
Yeah.
But what I mean is, that you actually produced them, and to me that's amazing. Also, Metallica, I'm a massive fan of Metallica. And this is one of the main objectives of my documentary was to try and get in touch with Metallica and speak to James Hetfield, That man is my absolute hero. But Justice for All, that album has a massive impact on my life.
That's good.
But I love every song on the album. It's so lyrically clever, It's an intelligent album.
That's crazy, right?
Time, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, see, this is how passionate I am about metal. It makes me smile simply by talking about it,
Right.
That's
And,
always good.
it is. It is one of my greatest passions.
So,
That's excellent.
if actually you could attend any dream gig, who would you go and see?
You're right.
If you basically could attend any dream gig, so any gig that had like a fantasy lineup, who actually would be on that bill?
Well, you're right. I'm a massive fan of Slayer also, right?
Okay.
So, to me, right, Slayer would be on there. I've also seen Disturbed. They're very good. Metallica obviously would have to be on that list. Megadeth, another massive band to me. Anthrax also, the Big Four.
Yeah, the Big Four.
Always meant a lot to me. But I have always had a fascination with Tool. Right? I always thought they were a unique band with a unique singer, And Naturalis shows up, right? Another great album I enjoy, So I think Motorhead would be someone else that I have on our list. Possibly Iron Maiden.
Okay.
I've seen Maiden a few times also.
Right.
Basically, I'm a massive avid metal fan who goes to a lot of concerts. Whenever he can. And this was the pity about the pandemic, wasn't it? The fact that we couldn't go to concerts, and that. After me, obviously, that affected your mental health.
Yeah, totally.
But I went to see a Foo Fighters tribute, right?
Okay.
On Saturday. And it was amazing to see it back again, To see a full crowd once again.
Right.
To actually watch live music. That's really what it's meant to my face,
I'm sure.
So do you have any challenges in attending these gigs?
Well, usually, right, the disabled platforms are very accessible, right? And you can see a lot.
Okay.
But problem is with that, is you gotta tend to book early and stuff like that. I mean, I find that quite difficult, because I mean, you run out the disabled spaces.
Right.
I mean, I think I would like it. I would like it so. Maybe we'd be in with the main population.
Right, okay.
As in, I like the running around health and safety and these things. But I know from experience how friendly the metal community is, you know? And I've been in concerts where I've been in the ring crowd, you know, and everyone has always helped me. So I've never been hit. So I went to see Five Finger Death Punch, and I was in the main arena, and everyone moved out of my way. So they passed in at the Red Sea. You know, they led me to the front. So, you know, I do believe that we should be kept separately in a different platform, right?
Right,
I believe
of course.
that we should all be on the front, you know?
Yeah, I agree with that.
I agree completely.
So how, like, sort of supportive do you generally find the, like, sort of music venues to you?
Well, for example, I went to Download, right, 3 years ago, and I just stuck in the mud. Now, it's there, everybody bullied me, you know, 5 complete strangers came up to me, and they pulled me out of the mud, you know, and to me, in no other form of music, are people that friendly and accepting, you know, and I never had any trouble with anybody from the metal community, you know. So the lyrics and the music might be slightly aggressive, but metal is a community of love, you know.
Totally.
And it really is, like, it's love and camaraderie. And no one is made to feel different. So I never felt disabled at the metal concert, or speaking to anyone who loves metal as well. So the minute you say, oh, I'm a Metallica fan, you know, people like talk to you.
Yeah, well, actually, you're a fan.
So they do what I just believe favorite albums and things like that.
That's fantastic. I love the metal community as well because of their, you know, the support and love of each other that we all have, and you know, not the judgment isn't there like it is in other communities, you know, and that's really important to me, and you know, to other humans as well.
Yeah, very much so.
So, all right. Let's step back a second, because I got caught up in my thoughts about, like, you have a band of your own, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So tell us again about that, because I'm really interested in hearing about the band, because I'd love to hear some music.
Well, basically, right, if you look, I mean, I've looked at music in general, right?
Okay.
And there isn't a lot of anything to do with disability out there, you know? So certainly, I think we are one of the only disabled rock bands out there, you know? And that was an inspiration to me, just to start with. Just to show the world that we can rock like anyone else, you know? You know, that was the main starting point.
Okay.
I mean, with disability comes issues, for example, like, we've struggled to find musicians. You know, people don't want to join with you. So initially, some people don't deal with disability very well. You scare some, or whatever. But, you know, the challenge we are finding is we need musicians who truly want to dedicate. Because to the 300 members, me, my singer, and my drummer, you know, it means a lot to us.
Right.
And you know, it gets disheartened when people don't turn up for practice or whatever. And, you know, those are the challenges we're facing. I mean, hopefully one day, we can get 2 guitarists and a drummer who really want to dedicate, you know?
Right.
I mean, but we've been at this now for 3 years. We still have that issue. but we're still as passionate now as the day we started.
Awesome.
That's excellent. Yeah.
That's very good indeed. Have you ever found any like sort of opposition to actually kind of starting up like kind of a mixed ability metal band?
And that's the thing. I mean, because I've never seen any other disabled metal bands that ever, we seem to be very unique.
Yeah.
And this is the thing. I think if we can truly get together, we might go places, because it is a selling point.
Yes.
Disability is a massive thing nowadays, and someone sees us doing it, maybe we can inspire a whole new genre of metal. Disability metal, that'd be amazing.
That's awesome.
That would be very awesome.
Yeah. So is performing fairly challenging to you, or how is that done? Do you need any special equipment to help you?
I'd say one of the biggest challenges to me is learning to sing with a ventilator. That's a challenge in itself.
Okay.
So, I mean, I need to sing to when the ventilator gives me breath.
Right.
So it's difficult because just to time your breath to the ventilator,
Right.
But it does lead to some interesting results.
Okay.
Because especially when you're writing your own material. I go a stylized way of singing when writing my own material, because obviously I can do it timed to the ventilator.
Yeah.
Right.
But say, for example, try singing something like, try to sing a Slayer track, for example, right? That's an immense challenge.
Right.
Because the ventilator doesn't give me a quick enough to learn the lyrics. The Slayer, the way they sing is very, very quick and repetitive, isn't it?
Right.
I can't do that, so I have to adapt my songs around that. So that was another fun challenge,
Okay. Understood. And there's jokingly, there's no tempo for your ventilator, right? So you can't set it.
Yeah, that's right. So just basically trying to catch me out.
Right.
Because there's no tempo. So you're singing a song, and you run out the way halfway through, and you're probably passing out the corners of it in some way,
So actually, the first aid goes on actually their toes all night.
Right.
So, obviously, you've spoken at length about your aspirations for the band and kind of how you would like to progress through that. But if you as an individual could perform with any current band, who would it be?
Well, so basically we've never gigged, okay? And so this is something I'm keen to do, just to see how I react to that environment, how I'm able to do it. So I realized that even though I have a ventilator on, I'm pretty good with my lungs.
Right.
As in, I'm able to keep a lot of air in my diaphragm. Now, I shouldn't be able to do this with my condition, but for some reason, I keep a long baritone tone. As crazy as I can do it, but I think for me, it comes from practice. And I'm not the best singer. I've always admitted that, but I enjoy the challenge of trying to alter my anatomy in order to do this. And, I'm pretty successful at it. But our dream, I think, eventually would be to gig, to maybe write their own material, to maybe have an album or someday,
Right. So all the material so far is cover songs, right?
Yeah, we only do covers for now.
Okay.
But, we do write. But, like I said, with writing, you need a team, we need the musicians to sort of dedicate like we have.
Right.
So, we do write a lot. We have many songs at the moment written down, but we have then the musicians in order to do it. So writing music is different to actually write the song, if you know what I mean.
Right.
So we would need musicians who to do what they were doing more, you know?
Gotcha. Okay. I have a funny question. So, if you were a pigeon, who would you poop on and why? Just trying to be funny.
No, I'll be honest though, I would relish the opportunity to perform in front of a crowd just to see what it's like, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely. I think that would be awesome to see you perform in front of a crowd. I would love that.
Very much.
Yeah.
So on my right stuff, I like to do this little segment I call the hidden talent. So do you have any special powers, secret special powers or hidden talents or anything like that you can share with us?
Yeah. I'm okay in the bedroom. That's it. Maybe that's a secret power. I get an enormous tongue.
Can you say that again?
If I had superpowers, I'd be dangerous. I really would.
I think you're already dangerous, sir.
I think you're already very dangerous.
I am quite. I do my best.
That's excellent.
So I suppose after basically finding out all this incredible kind of detail about you, we actually want to know, well, what's next for you, Rhys? What's actually next in your world?
Yeah, to be honest, I really thought, sir, when I was making my documentary, about my life with Welsh television, I managed to get in touch with Reggie Webb, the lead singer of Skinbred. To basically, I sold it to him. The idea was, I love metal. I meet with your concepts. So you, as a kind of person who faced discrimination throughout your life, I have as a disabled person. Would you like to meet him and be on my documentary? So I went to his home in Newport, and I spoke to him. I interviewed him for the documentary I was making. And even though Welsh television decided they can't use it, Reggie Webb suggested, why don't I get in touch with some of my metal heroes and see if they'd be happy to talk to me. So then it dawned on me that I wanted to make a documentary about disability in metal. How we are different in society, but metal doesn't treat us different. And to maybe film scenes from the disabled balcony, to speak to these stars and say, how do you see a disabled audience of that? And to be honest, I'm not a massive talent, I've spoken to bands such as Orange Goblin, I've spoken to Fender, Judas Priest that came in my direction. I haven't done them yet, but that'd be a massive one. Slipknot also has spoken to me.
Okay.
I'm in the process of editing that. And I really can't believe the talent I've had. I was proving a point. The metal community is so loving. And this is what I want to show when I do this documentary. So, and obviously I got in touch with you as well, Toby.
Yes.
And you were exactly the same. You were fully supportive to what I want to do. So I've given myself 2 years to film this documentary. So my intention is to go to download, maybe Bloodstock, go to a few concerts and film scenes there. So maybe, I can prove my point to the world, just how friendly and loving and accepting the metal community is like.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Well, thank you for inviting me to your documentary. That's very, very kind of you. And, in turn, I just love it. And,
that's my pleasure. Thank you so much for listening.
Oh, well, we'll get her done, babe. No worries. So where can people find you?
So basically, I'm on Facebook. and the Rhys Bowler. I'm on Instagram and the Rock with Bowler.
Okay.
I post my videos I'm doing on YouTube. I'm on the Rock with Bowler on that.
Yeah. Okay.
My website is on my Facebook. So if anyone wants to find me, just go on my Facebook, maybe.
Okay.
So
shall do for sure.
So if any of our audience wants to support to a charity that supports Duchenne's muscular dystrophy, any recommendation of actually where they should go?
Yeah, basically, if you go to Muscular Dystrophy UK, you can give money there. I mean, I myself have raised some money for them during the pandemic.
Superb.
Okay.
And all your help would be really good. It'd be really useful to us, you know.
Superb.
And research also, you know. Maybe one day we can find a cure, maybe.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed.
Exactly. That's fantastic. So, wow, Rhys, this has been...
And then it really will be dangerous. To give me my legs, man. Wow. It's not telling what I've been doing.
Right. Wow, Rhys, this has been a very, very informative and amazing episode. Thank you so much. And I love learning all about you and Duchenne's muscular dystrophy. I love that you're a motivational speaker and you're into metal for mental solace. That's amazing. Very much. Thank you again for taking the time to be on this episode of My Right Stuff, Rhys. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Anything.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, honestly.
You're welcome. And I also want to thank my distinguished co-host, Mr. Gareth Dyton, and our whole My Right Stuff crew for making this podcast possible every week.
Well,
thank you.
It's been another incredible episode. So thank you very much. And take care, you beautiful people. No star. And see you soon.
Yeah, cheers, guys. No star.
No star. Do you suffer from insomnia, depression, or anxiety? Well, my sponsor, TAUMMHOMS, may be able to help you in these areas. TAUMMHOMS is a natural sleep and sound healing portal helping people globally to get to sleep faster and stay asleep longer. And you can find this piece of gold at TAUMMHOMS.com. That's TAUMMHOMS.com. Well, most of all, a big thank you to all of you who stream, download, watch, and support My Right Stuff. And please keep spreading the word, my friends. I really, really do appreciate it. Also, we now have a merch store that you can pick up some snazzy merch for those bodies. Go to myrightstuff.com and click on the store tab. Don't forget to tag us in any photos with our merch so we can give you a live shout out on one of our episodes. And please remember to subscribe on YouTube so you can never miss an episode. And I hear it'll also give you 10 years good luck. Ring that bell for those notifications. This has been another exciting episode of My Right Stuff. Be sure to tune in next week and every week for yet another adventurous and informative show. I'm your host, Lord Toby Wright. And remember to listen loud, play hard, and keep reaching for your dreams. Good night.
Thank you for watching My Right Stuff. This episode was brought to you by TAUMMHOMS, a natural sleep and sound healing portal available globally at www.taumms.com. That's www.taummmhoms.com.